Hello, this is the Professor again. I want to look at immigration for the young, the poor, minorities, and immigrants. We're a nation of laws. Congress creates the laws, and then the president enforces them. Um, to not enforce the laws is the same as breaking the laws. So Obama has what he's been doing is saying, well, we're not going to deport people, we're not going to do this, and so you know it's normally people look at it as the positive, as if you're breaking a law, that somebody says you can't do this and then you do it. And what he's doing is the opposite of that. The Congress says we have laws, we have borders, we need to keep people from coming in illegally, and then if we find them, we're supposed to deport them. So he's not enforcing those laws. He's encouraging people to come into the country illegally, and then if they're here, he's not deporting them. So the question is, has Obama crossed the line? Has he crossed the line between enforcing the laws or not enforcing them in this case? Um, or is he creating laws on his own? Is he becoming like a dictator, like a king that creates their own laws and doesn't have any input from the, from a Congress, the legislature, anything like that? The other question I have for you is, could a future executive action do you some harm? So a lot of times people say, well, this executive action, it's good, it's creating something good that I believe in. But what happens in the future if another president or this president um, has an executive action that doesn't have any input from the people or the people's representatives, and it does you some harm? So that's something to think about. We're a nation ruled, or a nation which rejects being ruled by a king. So we fought the Revolutionary War in 1776 against King George of Britain and his unlimited power to make unjust laws, and laws where the colonists did not have any input into them. And so, it's like the old saying, taxation without representation. So they were being taxed by Britain, but they didn't have any representation, didn't have any representatives in the parliament in Britain that were able to vote for or against that. So it didn't have any input. That's what an executive action is. There is no input by the people. There's no input um, or vote by the Congress. The irony in this whole thing is that immigrants that are coming here, they're leaving countries who have dictators who make up unjust laws and don't listen to the people, where the people don't have a say. They may not be able to vote for different policies. And so they're coming here to a country now that is becoming more and more like the countries they're trying to get away from. The economy. So I have a picture here of Eva Longoria, and I made up a little quote. She didn't actually really say this, but a lot of celebrities, they come out and they say, "Oh, I'm for this or I'm for that," but a lot of times they're for that, but the things they're for never affect them. She's wealthy. She's not ever going to be replaced or have her wages, her how much she makes for a movie or her modeling or perfumes or whatever she's selling. Um, these are not policies that are ever going to affect her. The policies are going to affect the young, the poor, and the immigrants. So I'm all for more immigrants. I can feel good about myself, and none of it will affect me. So the celebrities come out and they make these statements, and they go home feeling good about themselves because they think they've done something noble when they're making millions of dollars for limited amount of work, and they actually think that they're struggling, but they have no idea what's going on with the rest of the world, rest of the nation, rest of the world. So lower wages, immigrants who are willing to work for low wages. So if we have a large influx of immigrants who are not making much in other the countries they're coming from, and they come here, and the wages, according to our standards, might be really, really low, but for them, they're actually pretty good wages. And so they're willing to work for those low wages. They're willing to make the sacrifices to have some freedom, to have a job. Um, that's only going to make the young, the poor, and the minority of the native-born Americans, people that are already here, lower. You have more people looking for work. Um, Employers are going to be able to pay less for that work. So this is going to create more inequality. Do you think the celebrities on TV who claim to care about immigrants will really be affected? You always have to look at the money um, and whether people are being hypocritical about what they say they care about and how they really whether they really do or not. So you're going to have more job applicants. How are you going to how will having more people applying for a scarce number of jobs affect the young, the poor, and the minorities? Big agriculture and big business. Corporations, of course, surprisingly, and are more are for more immigrants. So they'll be more willing to have more people available to work for uh, peanut wages. The young, the poor, and minorities are already struggling to find full-time employment and good-paying jobs with benefits and job security. So how will adding millions more legal workers, how's it going to help them? How's it going to help you? The young. So it's going to be harder to find full-time, good-paying jobs. Possibly no Social Security left. Maybe your retirement is you're going to be paying in for the rest of your life, but when you get to ready to take it out, it's not going to be there. You're going to be left on your own. More expensive health care. We don't know what's going to come of the healthcare system. More expensive housing as increased demand pushes up prices. So if we have amnesty for a bunch of immigrants that are already here, and so now they become legal, possibly citizens, they'll be able to buy housing or uh, rents and things like that. These things are going to go up. Government cuts to education. Where's the student loan program going to be going if there's not money's being sucked off for other uses, for other benefits? Will the young be the last ones in line for those for that help? So I'm saying you're screwed. The poor, harder to find and qualify for jobs. Immigrants will move into jobs traditionally held by the working poor. So when these immigrants, because they've been illegal, they've my thinking is they've been in jobs where it's less likely they'll get caught, less likely they'll be asked for good documentation that they're a citizen. And so now if they have some kind of legal status, they'll be able to move into jobs that traditionally native-born Americans have held, and that just is going to hurt the people that are already here, even immigrants that are already here. Lower paying entry-level jobs. Education funding for schools will dry up. And the Democratic Party is going to abandon you for the Hispanic vote. Pretty soon the Hispanic vote is going to be larger than any other group. And so if you're a young person, if you're poor, if you're um, a minority here in this country, the Democrats are going to abandon you eventually. You are screwed. Minorities, harder to find and qualify for jobs. Hispanics will maybe get more of the quotas instead of black Americans. Democrats will abandon you for the Hispanic vote. Your dream of owning your own home will be gone. More income inequality. You are screwed. As a nation, we're a compassionate and welcoming nation. We accept hundreds of thousands of legal immigrants from all nations every year. Immigrants come to us because we are a nation of laws. That's one of the things that they're coming here for. It's not just to go to the malls and to the stores and all the things that we have to buy. They come here because there's stability in a nation that follows laws, that have property rights, where the government, people just can't come in and steal from you and take from you. These are the things that make this the nation that it is. Immigrants are fleeing nations where government abuses their powers over the people and write their own laws. Do we really want to become a nation like that? In summary, the president is abusing his power in making laws. His policies are hurting the people he cares about the most. He says he cares for them, the young, the poor, and the minorities. So why does he hate this country that's done so much for him and helped so many? You're being used as pawns in a game. We're all screwed. So I'd like you to take a look at all the things that he's promised and all the things that he's done and whether it's really how it's affecting you. Thank you.